Hello everyone, I'm Lauren and welcome to another video from the Tiny Menagerie. Choosing your fish can come with an absolute raft of decisions to make about cost and suitability and size and availability and compatibility, and the absolute last thing you want to buy after all that thinking is a species that turns out to be a bit boring. And so here is a list of fish which are ideal for people who are beginners to the hobby, but definitely not boring. And the first fish on my list is the rather splendid golden wonder panchax, a type of killifish from Sri Lanka and southern India, and these are superb little fish for the beginner, as they are relatively easy to come by, certainly for a killifish, and unlike a lot of killies, they live for a reasonable amount of time too. Many killies are an annual species, meaning that they have a very short lifespan of only 1 to 2 years, whereas the golden wonders can live for up to 5 years. The males are a dazzling iridescent golden colour with red hints to the edges of their fins, whereas the females are a more silvery counterpart. Not quite so shiny as the males, but they are still very appealing in their own right. Those males can be a little bit flashy in their temperament as well as their colours, and they will constantly spar and show off to each other as well as the females, making them a permanently entertaining addition to your tank. They're a great size, growing up to about 3 inches long, and so they won't outgrow an 80-litre tank, but they're not so small that they need to be kept in huge numbers in order to feel comfortable or to have a bit of an impact. In fact, these fish can easily be kept in trios with 1 male and 2 females. Just to warn you though, these guys do have a rather large mouth for their size, and they will very happily consume any very small fish that you might have, such as chili rasbora for example, so best to keep them with nothing smaller than an adult neon. And the next fish is one that I think deserves to be on every beginner fish list out there. Zebra danios have got to be the quintessential beginner fish, as they are renowned in the hobby for being incredibly hardy. But what a lot of people seem to forget about them is that they're also really fascinating fish to keep, as they never stop moving. They are constantly on the go, chasing each other, looking for food, looking for somewhere to explore around. I could have included glow light danios in this list, but they can be a little bit challenging to find sometimes, whereas zebras are very common and very easy to obtain. And one of the really fun aspects of keeping these fish is that they are often sold in quite poor conditions because they're very overbred in the hobby. And as they are very simple and very keen to breed, you can easily get and raise some fry and see just how much good husbandry improves the fish, which can be just a really fascinating new aspect to the hobby if you're new. They do like to be kept in a shoal, so be sure to keep at least 6 individuals in a group, and they will grow up to about 2 inches in length. And as they are very, very active, you're going to want to provide them with a nice big tank that is at least 100 litres. And another fish that has an almost bottomless level of appeal for the beginner to the hobby is of course the Betta fish. These fish, with their elaborate flowing fins that look so very delicate, are in fact as tough as old boots. They can withstand a huge range of water conditions and even extremely poor water thanks to their labyrinth system which allows them to gulp air from the surface. In fact, the only thing they really don't like is a lot of flow. All those fins are not good for swimming against a current. They come in an unending array of colours and styles and classifications. In fact, I would almost argue that bettas are the only true personal fish, just because they are all so very, very unique. And so it's worth really taking your time and finding one that is perfect for you. One thing to especially note though about bettas is that there is a huge amount of very poor information out there about how much space they need. Bettas are not small fish. They grow up to about 2 inches in body length, and you can add another good 2 inches on the end of that for tail length. They are very active and very intelligent. They will soon learn to recognise you as their owner and provider of food. They explore and hunt, and despite the fact that they can survive in a 5-litre tank, that certainly does not mean they should ever be kept in one. They need an absolute minimum of 60 litres to have the space that they need, with lots and lots of decorations and obstacles for prowling around. Give them a tank they can explore and they will repay your kindness with their wonderfully entertaining behaviour. And the fourth beginner fish on my list is possibly the easiest keep of them all, and that is the lovely cherry barb. These hardy little barbs are also kind of a 2-for-1, as the males are this very striking deep red coloration, while the females are an equally beautiful golden bronze. Of all the barbs, the cherry just might be the most peaceful, and certainly mine have never shown any interest at all on picking on any of the fish in the tank. They are lively without being boisterous, eager to feed without being bullies to other fish, and they have no real interest in hunting shrimps or anything that's much smaller than themselves. They are just a very, very relaxed barb to keep. Like a lot of barbs, they do want to be kept in a group, and so you should aim to get at least 4 individuals with as many males as females. That way the males will always be showing off their brightest reds trying to impress the girls. Cherry barbs only grow to about 1.5 to 2 inches in length, and they are not the most active of barbs neither, so they will do just fine in an 80-litre tank. And the last fish on my list, but by far the most important and the least boring one of them all, is of course the fish that you want. Never mind all of the beginner fish keeping videos there are out there, the lists of fish that are suitable for beginners, of which there are hundreds, and they are all completely pointless. Ignore them. Ignore this one. The best beginner fish is the one that excites you, the one that makes you think, wow, I'd like to care for some of those. If you really want to keep African cichlids, even though they are definitely not described as being beginner fish, then learn everything you can about them, try your absolute best to get a tank set up that's right for them, start slowly and accept that you're going to make mistakes, but ultimately get African cichlids. There is no point buying a school of lovely little harlequin rasboras, no matter how much I like them and how easy they are to keep, if your aim is to buy an Oscar. It's not fair on you, who's going to be disappointed, it's not fair on the harlequins, who are going to be unwanted, and it's not fair on that Oscar out there who's waiting for a nice new home. I suppose ultimately what I'm trying to say is, so long as you do your research and you do your best, then there is no reason why you can't keep any fish that you choose, so long as you can actually provide it with a good home. So if you're thinking about buying a whale shark, or frankly even a bala shark, then you might need to guess again. Anyway though, that's my 2-penny rant over, and just so that you don't think I've skipped out on a final fish that's great for beginners and not boring, then you should buy my favourite fish, the sparkling gourami, because they are inch-long magnificence. Anywho though, that is my list of fish which are great for beginners and certainly not boring. Happy fish keeping everyone, and I will see you again soon. Bye bye!